name is Randy Morgan, and I own Hatchmatcher Fly and Tackle in Maple Ridge. We're a full-service shop from sturgeon to ocean to fly fishing. But a real passion I had when I started this business 5 years ago was to try to get high school kids involved. So we started a program through the high schools in Maple Ridge where we get teacher volunteers giving their time, and we help them to mentor these kids, and we teach them how to tie flies, how to cast. They go on fishing outings and things. And what we do at the end of each year, we have a big wind-up. So we'll take the 3 or 4 schools from Maple Ridge and we have a fish-off. So we come out to the Fraser Valley Hatchery and we have a huge trophy for first place on the team that fishes the best. So that gives them good incentive to come out. It's a really good program for the kids that, especially in high school level, something to keep them in school, keep them involved. And a lot of these kids, they may not have had a chance to learn about fly fishing or fishing in general. So by having a club like this, it gives them a chance to start at ground roots. They don't need anything. You know, we supply a lot of rods. We got loaner fly tying kits, rods. Teachers can take them. And at least we give them a bit of the fishing knowledge. So whether they continue or not, we're hoping maybe a few years after graduation they can come back to it. And that's our main goal, is to reach the kids that would not have a chance to go fishing.
There you go. Did it spit it off? No.
We've had so many kids involved that we've had to limit it to 8 students per school, and only the 3 schools right now, because we can only hold 24. We'd have 60 kids here if they let them all come. But what they do is they rotate through stations, 6 different stations. They get to fish 20 minutes at each station. And of course it's fly fishing, catch and release only, single barbless. And they go through each station. So each child gets to fish one of the 6 stations. As far as prizes, we go by the winning school, we go by average. So if combined the 8 students got 500 fish, we divide by 8, come up with an average. The winning school gets the grand prize, the trophy, belly boats, waders, like you name it type thing. After that, we break the prizes out to individual. Longest fish, like the biggest fish, maybe the most caught, and we run through. So by the end of the day, every child goes home with some kind of prize, and they're all very good prizes. We have great sponsorship from local vendors down here and stuff, and some from back east and down in the States, and they just pour out the prizes for us and everything.
My name's Dan Grill, and I teach over at Westview Secondary, which is in Maple Ridge. I've been there probably about 15 years, and I've ran lots of sports teams, including the golf team currently, but the one I've been involved in probably for the last 5 to 6 years is our school fishing club. So I got that going with the assistance of Randy probably about 6 years ago, and it was something that there wasn't a lot of people doing, but there were some of the kids at school knew that I fished, and they asked me about doing a club, so I put it together. The first year was a little bit of a struggle and didn't end on a good note because I didn't have a lot of things to do, so I struggled with things to come up for the kids. So over the 6 years I've built, I think, a pretty good program. The goal is we meet once a week, and at these meetings we'll either tie flies, we'll talk fishing, we watch DVDs about fishing, I teach them knots and stuff like that, and then once a month we try to do an outing.
Actually, last year I was actually really disappointed. We were going around helping the kids, and a lot of these kids, they'd been in the club 2 years, they didn't know how to tie a nail knot, they didn't know how to tie a double surgeon's knot or tie the fly on, so I met with the teachers after last year's competition and said, that's not the type of club I want. I want, you know, or you guys need, is a club that by the time they're in it for 2 years, they should know all this stuff. How to tie a fly on, tippet, leader, the most important part. So I came up with a relay race. And what that did, that involved all 8 students, and they each had a different phase to do, tying a nail knot, blood knot, tying the fly on. Now, we look at our kids this year, they are unbelievable. They can all do the knots, they can all tie the fly on, the leaders, the whole bit, and that's what our thing is.
Go, go, go! Go, Jason! Back up, guys. All over it. Chris, all over it. Let it sink, let it sink. There you go, there you go.
We got to check the hook to see if it pins barb. You might be disqualified. Hold on.
There you go.
Check the hook. See if it pins barb or not. Another thing we do a casting distance competition for some of these kids that may have been in it for a couple years, and the top 3 get a fly rod each out of there. So that really hones their skills a bit more also.
Kids themselves are really enthusiastic because a lot of in my club in particular, aren't really exposed to a lot of fly fishing in particular. So they're very enthusiastic, very thankful for everything we do, really appreciate the time we put in, so that's good. Some of the challenges are, I guess in this day and age of trying to keep everyone safe, is once we go near water, there's a lot of forms to be filled out. That can be kind of time consuming to get permission and get the district approval and safety and things like that. So when I bring them on an outing where we are near water, the kids all have to wear a life jacket, things like that. Funding's actually been pretty good, and I got to admit that the various forum programs have been good at supporting the program, giving me supplies that they don't use, and sponsorship from some of the clubs and things like that, or from some of the suppliers has been really good. And parents themselves are like really appreciate and thank me for bringing their kids out and stuff like that. So challenges are just like getting the permission for the kids to go fishing, and some of the kids this year I've got a good bunch, and it seems if they come in as a group, they'll do things as a group. So most of the kids in my program are grade 9, so I see this as having another 3 or 4 years with these kids being really good, and then working at getting other kids into the program at a younger age. So if they go through as a group, they'll fish as a group and they'll stay in the program as a group.
When we started here last year, what we did, I couldn't get enough volunteers. A lot of people said they'd come, they didn't show up. So we basically made the parents help. We said we need 3 volunteers per group, that's 18 volunteers. So we had mums and dads that had never gone with their kids fishing. This is their first exposure to the fishing part, and we said, you got to help net fish, you got to measure them. By the end of the competition, they all shook my hand, they couldn't believe it, they loved it. And a lot of those parents continued on with the kids. So it all goes by volunteers from the parents and things to help the kids out to do all the measuring and releasing.